UFC. This is the first move, like a greedy, I want to be in competition with UFC move that Strikeforce has ever made.
Right.
They've been very smart. They've kept things pretty regional in California, very local. And what the hell was I going to say? But yeah, they haven't jumped out and said, all right, we have to have pay-per-view, we have to sign the top 5 guys to make one brilliant card, even though it's going to cost us $1 million per fighter. They haven't done anything even close to that. They've just said, we're slowly building our company, and they're doing it the right way. Now they're getting the benefits of everybody else just disappearing. There's nobody left. They got to put somebody on Showtime, CBS, to fill the spot. Strikeforce is all there is, and the Fedor thing is the first. I wouldn't call it a dumb move. It's obviously not dumb to sign Fedor, and they didn't pay him $5 million a fight, but they will be co-promoting. So I don't know, man. In the long run, I'm sure
CBS isn't going to have any problem with the Strikeforce M1 co-promotion type deal.
They don't care. They're just a TV outlet, really. I mean,
right.
Showtime's pretty involved too, a lot more than you think in the actual decision making. Like they have a lot to do with that. What is it? Not this weekend, but next weekend. You got the Gina Carano versus Cyborg card. Showtime put a lot of those fights together.
Whoops, sorry, man. My bad. My chat room locked. I hate this chat, man. When a lot of people show up, it lags, doesn't it? Does it do that for you?
Yeah, I think mine just locked up too. So.
Yeah. Wow.
But that's the Fedor stuff. Fedor will be fighting this fall with Strikeforce. UFC. As far as where they left things, they said that they have the offer on the table right now for Fedor. If there are people, basically he didn't say, but if they smarten up and they decide and they realize, hey, we just offered you the greatest deal you're ever going to get anywhere, ever.
Right.
Come take the damn deal. Eventually, I would say you're almost guaranteed to see Fedor in UFC. The question is, will Brock lose before then? Will Fedor lose before then? And, where will the business be when it eventually happens? Will it be as big as it is now, as hot as it is now, which is impossible? It can't be because they're coming off their biggest show in they won't have another show anywhere near UFC 100 buy rate in years. So, I don't know. It's going to be a while before you see Fedor in UFC, but you'll see it eventually, I think.
California, you're live on WZR Radio here on WZROnline.com. What's up, man?
Yeah, what's up? 2 quick questions, I guess, UFC/MMA questions. Let's just say let's say Brock Lesnar fights whoever Dana White throws at him next, and let's say he kind of embarrassed that person, like beats him up pretty bad.
Yeah.
Will Dana then say, screw this and offer him even more to get Fedor so Fedor could whoop Lesnar, or will he just still keep the same offer he has on the table?
I'm pretty sure, I'll let Boone answer this, but I'm pretty sure they could offer Fedor whatever. I mean, they could offer him double what they offered him, and I'm not sure that he'd take it. You know what I mean? I think if they offered $10 million a fight, I'm sure. Come on, if they didn't, I would be shocked. But I was shocked by this one too. I mean, he got $5 million in pay-per-view cut, and they walked to Strikeforce for $1 million instead, just to co-promote. So
yeah.
I think the thing is Fedor's got like a real stake in that M1 Global company, and he doesn't have many years left as a fighter. So it's not like, oh well, they're going to pay me this much per fight. Plus, I might lose, and then it goes down. My marketability goes down. My whole aura goes down. I'm not the baddest man in the world anymore. And then, so.
And one more quick thing. I've seen the Lashley on TNA, Bologna. I didn't like it that much myself. But let's just say he continues to win impressively in MMA, Lashley. Will Dana White then throw him, not that much, but throw him some money and bring him over to UFC? Or will he kind of say no because he's trying to do TNA and MMA at the same time, and he's not feeling that? You think
he wouldn't let him come in doing both? I mean, he would have to be done with TNA. But I mean, the way he's fighting now, Bobby Lashley's kind of being like a Travis Fulton or an old school Jeremy Horn, where he's taking fights with any little crappy company that'll give him a couple bucks just so he can stay active. He just wants to stay active and fight many times a year. And when you fight that way, it's going to be a while before unless you like killing everybody in 2 seconds with something impressive like a Crow Cop high kick.
Yeah.
It's not really doing much for you. It's just getting you active and you're getting better while you're doing it, but nobody knows it because you're not fighting anybody. So
yeah. And one last question, I guess. And okay, let's say he wins like 2 or 3 more fights and he whoops their butts, tap out or knockout. I'm pretty sure it'll be a tap out, but let's say he beats them, and let's say what's his name, Caesar Dana White, and let's say Lesnar beats this person, whoever he has to fight next, and Fedor still won't sign. Will he say damn this, I want Lesnar to get his butt whooped and throw Lashley the money so somebody can fight him who has a chance?
First of all, this is twice now you said to Lesnar, but they don't want Lesnar getting his butt whooped. Lesnar is their big deal right now. With Chuck Liddell out, Brock Lesnar is the man in the UFC right now. He's the guy. You know, he's the big money guy. So they don't want him losing. They want him winning. They're not eager to seek anybody out specifically to beat him. Now, they're eager to seek out big money fights for him to have and hope that he wins, even though he could lose, definitely. So, if Lashley gets hot enough, they're going to get him, no matter how many times they say they don't want a bunch of wrestlers coming in. If he's willing to quit TNA and he puts a couple more wins together, Dana White will sign him on the spot. Guaranteed.
Yeah, it's just that I thought he didn't he likes him because since Lesnar's WWE, I thought he's not want no WWE wrestler whooping all his homegrown talent per se. So he wants to get somebody else.
Let's put it this way: he's literally trying to figure out a way with the Mandalay Bay to jump off the top of their building because of the buy rate for UFC 100. Press dared him. If it does more than 1.5, you got to jump off the. He says, "I'll jump off the building," and they kept sticking it to him every press conference. Hey man, it's looking like it's going to be over 1.5. He's like, I'm actually talking to Mandalay. We're really going to try and set it up. So if he's over that with Lesnar and that pay-per-view buy rate, my God. So
Oh, all right. That's all you guys think.
All right, thanks for the call, Callie. Real quick, guys, I've got ECW spoilers for tonight. If you do not want to hear these, turn down your speakers right now for a couple minutes while I run these down. I'm going to run them down as we go here. So I'm reading them along with you guys. The show opened up with the Abraham Washington show. Apparently lots of corny jokes here. Zack Ryder comes out, plays to the hometown crowd. Shelton Benjamin comes out and apparently goes on what is described as a PG-rated tirade. The crowd started chanting, "This is stupid." Washington asked them each to sing a song. They sang some Hootie and the Blowfish. Ryder then attacked Shelton Benjamin. Shelton was trying to be a babyface, but the crowd crapped all over his singing. So apparently another horrible segment tonight on ECW with the Abraham Washington show. Big Zeke, Ezekiel Jackson, defeated an unknown, we'll call him a jobber.
All right.
Kozlov comes out and rock-bottomed the jobber. And Ezekiel did the same thing, and apparently this was pretty bad as well. Backstage segment with Tiffany. The Hurricane appeared and saved a backstage somebody that was in the backstage area. Some equipment fell and came to the rescue, which was seen in recent weeks. Sheamus defeated Goldust. Threw him into the turnbuckle. Sheamus grabbed the mic, was about to speak, and Goldust came back and attacked him, and they brawled it out. So it looks like they're going to continue Sheamus and Goldust for a feud. Wow. Tommy Dreamer cut a backstage promo putting over the ECW title, and Christian was shown carrying a car door to the ring because the next match was Christian defeated Tommy Dreamer in an Extreme Rules match to retain the ECW title. Tons of weapons in this one. That's about all I got. I just know that Christian defeated Tommy Dreamer in an Extreme Rules match to end ECW this week. Apparently the crowd was red hot for this, so it was a horrible show, and according to this report, and the main event delivered with lots of weapons and classic Extreme Rules for ECW tonight. Hopefully we'll be able to get you guys a couple of the SmackDown spoilers, at least the first few segments as we're taping that right now. So before we go off the air, we'll try to get that to you. All right, Matty Bean, what else do we have? You know what? We didn't talk about this as far as UFC 101. Let me let's get these wrestling bits out of the way. We had a release last week. The Brian Kendrick was released.
You predicted that too, you remember?
Yeah, I mean, guys that are constantly squashed on a weekly basis, and then there was the pop problem with him as well. They gave him the stick, you know what I mean? They gave him the mic, over the past few weeks, and I thought his delivery was good. In ring, I mean, all you Ring of Honor fans remember him from back in the day. I mean, he was awesome back on the indie scene when he was with.
Isn't he related to Shawn Michaels?
No, I think he came. I don't know if he's related, but I think he came from his school.
Ain't he like his little cousin or something? I know he came out of his school. I thought he was his cousin or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I know he came out of the school, but I'm not sure about the family ties. But yeah, I don't know. They got rid of him, and you know, I mean, if you guys followed what happened to him here in the past few weeks on TV, just was constantly squashed, and he'll head back to you know, maybe a TNA. I would hope they pick him up in TNA, bring him in. I mean, he showed potential on the mic just in the last few weeks. You know what I mean? And it was funny that they gave him a mic to try to put over his personality, and then got rid of him, you know what I mean? So it was almost like, yeah, I know he was getting squashed on a week-to-week basis, but they still gave him a stick. So he still got his personality over before he was eventually fired, you know what I mean? So it was kind of a weird way to go, because he was profiled. I know as more of a jobber, but he was still profiled on a weekly basis on TV. So he was released last week. His first non-WWE booking is August 28th. With Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. I'm not sure if he's going to... what is this in the show about?
Oh, I know some Gorilla.
Oh, Boone. You're
Donkey Kong.
You're good. But
it's a Gorilla Nation, you know.
The Gorilla Nation. No doubt. Yes, the Gorilla Nation. How about, what else we got for news? We already talked about The Miz, maybe to ECW, maybe to SmackDown. We didn't see him tonight on ECW. Maybe they'll play that out here for a few weeks before they have him switch over to another brand, unless they do something on SmackDown tonight. Probably not, though.
Sergeant Slaughter hosts Raw next week. We forgot to mention that during Raw.
They
waited until it was the very last thing they said. They just mentioned it real quick as they were going up there. By the way, next week, Sergeant Slaughter. See you next week. We were waiting all night. We're like, when the hell are they going to tell us who the next host is?
And you know, the problem with a guest host next week is they're in Canada. You know what I mean? So it's hard to bring a United States celebrity into Canada of all places. You know what I mean?
You bring the American hero, and you know, that's an easy thing to play off of the crowd with, depending on how they react. But I think to them it seems obvious he'll be the heel because he's Mr. USA, G.I. Joe guy, and they're in Canada. But I think just because he's a legend, and Canada fans are like real crazy marks for, you know, legends and things like that. I think he'll be babyface big time next week.
Are you looking forward to that or no? No, I mean that doesn't get me. I don't know.
I don't care. No, Dusty Rhodes. I want to see Dusty Rhodes do it one week. I would love to see that.
You know, DiBiase Sr. You know, I wasn't really interested in that, and he came in and delivered. So there's
I would have been.
I mean, come on, it's Sergeant Slaughter. You know what I mean? So I mean,
yeah, but he's boring, man. I mean, I never liked his gimmick, to be honest. That's an order, puke, maggot, scum. Like, all right.
No, that's going to get old next week. Right. By hour number 2 in next week's show, we're going to be done with that. Unless they don't over-abuse it, which is probably not likely, you know what I mean? They love to do those stupid comedy gimmicks or those comedy sketches and over-abuse. Ted DiBiase was used a lot. But
at least you don't have nothing to promote. You know, he don't have to do a plug every 12 seconds, you know, that he's talking next week.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So what else? We talked about Shaq versus the Big Show. I don't think it's going to happen at SummerSlam. I think we're too close. Snitsky. Oh, yes, a car accident, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
missed
was
some bookings this weekend. Wasn't too serious, right? But he was, you know, banged up a little bit. So.
Yeah, we put that up on ProWrestlingScoops.com. What else? The Jeff Jarrett, Kurt Angle situation from
a lot of people are asking about that in the chat. They want the big update on that.